The Bible paints a very graphic picture of a person who becomes entrapped by his own sin. It says, and he will be held with cords of his sin. Now, what does that mean? Have you ever seen a little bug get caught in a spider's web? The more that bug struggles to become free, the more entangled in the web it becomes. And that's what this verse is talking about. The person is trapped by his sin, and even when he comes to his senses and recognizes the need to change, he cannot escape by his own strength. He just gets more entangled in his own web of sin. Listen to what was just posted on Facebook. I read it this morning. Just 3 months ago, my son Gabriel came home from a drug and alcohol recovery program he did for 2 months. We were all so proud of him for finally accepting the fact that he had a problem with alcohol. With everyone being quarantined, there were no AA classes, no socials with other people in recovery. We started noticing he was sneaking a beer, a shot, etc. Well, to make a long story short, he is now worse than when he first went into the program. He's lost his job, his family, his savings, etc. He's become someone I don't know anymore. He wakes up drinking until he passes out. He doesn't live with us and has left his wife to be able to do as he pleases. His car will soon be repoed because he can't pay it. No cell phone. He's slowly killing himself. He's 33 years old. We used to always talk on the phone. He always made sure I was okay and the family. He would send me little messages telling me how much he loves his mama. Gabriel is my only son. I miss my boy. Please pray that this horrible addiction leave him, that he comes back home and finds God once again. Thank you so much. There are many tragic stories like this. Do you have someone who you love who has lost their way? You know, you're not alone. And there's still hope for the one entangled in sin. Listen to this response to the post I just read. I have been your son, someone writes. I understand what you're going through. When this was happening to me, my parents tried talking, crying, and pleading, but nothing worked. Finally, they went to their Lord in prayer and asked God to do whatever he needed to do to save me and give myself to God. When I finally did this, only then did God give me the victory. Not of my own will or power, but by giving it to Jesus. You know, the power of addiction is strong, but as you know, the power of God is stronger. And, so the question that I like to ask you, have you given your loved one to Jesus? All of us have someone whom we have been praying for, and we may not have seen the answer yet. Will you be willing to ask Jesus to do whatever it takes to save your loved one? I have made that decision in my heart. You know, if you do, then you can stand back and see the salvation of the Lord. It may not be pretty, but the Lord will do all that he can to save your loved one. This is just a thought. And I'm Birger Dragic, pastor of Three Angels and Newton Seventh-day Adventist churches in South Central Kansas. Only a full surrender to God can unentangle people from the tangled web of sin that they weave. You know, I would like to read for you a scripture from John. This is from John chapter 8, verses 34 to 36. Here's what Jesus said. Most assuredly I say to you, whoever commits sin is a slave of sin. In other words, they are entangled. And a slave does not abide in the house forever, but a son abides forever. Therefore, if the Son makes you free, that is the Son, Jesus Christ, you shall be free indeed. It's only Jesus who can truly give freedom. And may we stay out of God's way as he does whatever he can to save, even if it's not a pretty sight. It means tough love. Do not give up hope. Instead, give your loved one over to a loving God whose perspective is an eternal one, a God who's long-suffering. And wow, he has results in mind that you may not even dream of. God has a plan and a purpose for every human being. Let him do his work. And may we be of assistance in terms of loving people who he is trying to save. Be blessed.